A Jackson church that has spent decades serving its community started Sunday with a disturbing discovery, and the message left behind is now in the hands of investigators. Southside Baptist Church sits on Raymond Road, several blocks west of Belvedere Drive. 3 on your side's Adarius McCormick explains what was found and what it points to.
These spray-painted symbols and 3 letters making serious accusations against city and church officials were left here at Southside Baptist Church. Tonight, the congregation is still waiting for answers. Sunday morning, members of Southside Baptist Church arrived to find a cross and 2 X's spray-painted on the building. But before service, Pastor Jeff Parker found something else. 3 pages of written accusations.
Well, I'd like to believe that whoever did it thought maybe they might be heard.
The meaning behind the vandalism is unclear. The message in those letters was not. They accused Jackson City and church officials of sex trafficking. Pastor Parker says those allegations need to be investigated.
I pray to God that they're able to identify who these individuals are, because if this is true, then it definitely needs to be prosecuted.
For 30 years, Pastor Parker's ministry has crossed paths with crime, drugs, prostitution, and now this. But church went on as scheduled Sunday. He says Southside Baptist is the bridge between the troubles of the inner city and the community's faith.
I think if this church was not here, you would feel literally a disturbance in the dynamics of this city. Good versus evil.
That's why his congregation didn't flinch. Parker told them this is not a threat to them, and if it was, their faith is bigger than any threat.
People are used to crime. They know what it is.
I reached out to JPD's spokesperson for more context on the investigation. I haven't heard back, but Pastor Parker says no matter what comes from this, Southside Baptist Church isn't going anywhere. Adarius McCormick, 3 on your side.